Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Meal Spouse Conversations, the tea. How is everyone doing today?
I love your energy, Sybil. I could not get that hyped.
Girl, look, I gotta get hyped today because, as I told you backstage before we started this stream, it dawned on me 45 minutes ago that this is the last episode of the tea from Bahrain. Y'all, it's coming a little quick. It is coming quick. Actually, you know what it is too, Grace? Is we have 5 Wednesdays in this month.
Yep.
Because I was looking at the calendar and I'm like, okay, our next episode, I'm like, wait, why do I have 2 weeks off?
Right,
like,
right.
because there's 5 Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And then it dawned on me that the next one will be in DC.
Pretty awesome.
And funny enough, Grace, so it's the 14th. Do you know when I picked the keys up from my house?
I'm going to assume just a couple days before that. Oh no. You're not even have keys, are you?
I'm picking the keys up on the 13th.
That was close.
The evening of the 13th.
Oh no, Sybil. We're going to see Sybil outside of her house at the front door because the landlord didn't come and then they got delayed and then we're going to have a show from outside.
Okay. Wait a minute. My lease begins on May 10th.
Oh, okay. So you definitely need to have those keys.
But do you know when I leave Bahrain?
Oh, goodness, Sybil. Tell us.
The 11th.
Oh, man.
Hey, I like to live on the wild side.
Yeah, you sure do. I wouldn't do that with PCSing, but it's all you.
Well, it was leave on the 11th or leave on April 27th.
Right.
And as long as Helen is in school till May 7th,
Mm-hmm.
you will do the, what do they call it? I forgot what they call it, but basically the accelerated completion. So
Right.
she will finish the school year here,
Mm-hmm.
her final grades, so she doesn't have to enroll once we get to DC.
Yeah. That makes
So I'm
sense.
like, all right, we'll stay till then and then get us out on the first rotator.
Right. Makes sense.
So our property manager was like, can you sign for your lease to begin on the 10th? We like the house. So I was like, yes. My husband agreed. But one thing I don't remember seeing in the house, I know it's there. I know they have one.
Are you sure it's there? Because if you don't remember, it might not be.
I mean, we did a virtual tour.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember a laundry room or a laundry closet.
I mean, I'm sure it's there, right? I would hope so.
Most homes these days have
Right.
laundry, right?
Yeah, I would assume. I've never lived in that area though, so I don't know. Is that standard there?
Yeah. I mean, the house. So we own a house in the area, but we have tenants, and we have a laundry room.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in the area before in Maryland. We had a laundry room.
Yeah.
Every other
only
house
one.
I looked at online, there was a laundry room.
That's funny.
Hey, it's all good. It is. It is what it is. But how have you been doing this week? Because I'm over here just da-da-da-da-da-da.
No, you're good. You're good. I've been good. I've been busy, super busy, but good. Trying to stay balanced. I went to the gym this morning, which was nice because I haven't been able to go since how busy I've been. But I was up super early, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my butt to the gym since I'm up anyway. And so, yeah, that's how I started my day.
So you're a gym rat, Grace?
I wouldn't consider myself a gym rat. I'm a go because I feel guilty that I didn't go type of person. But I used to love the gym. I used to go all the time. Yes, I used to like lift weights. Like it was my thing. That's what I used to do. And then life just happened. So I'm easing back into it.
You're easing back into it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can feel that. I've said when we move, I'm gonna start working out. There is, I do remember this. There is a gym room or a room. The homeowner said he used it for his gym. My husband was all excited.
Yeah.
We have a gym. We have a room in our house for a gym.
So you must have a laundry room if you have a gym room.
We just don't know the laundry room. So, Grace, on your way to the gym, what are you listening to? What music is playing in your car?
My worship music. It's always playing in my car.
Always worship music?
Always worship music. I mean, every once in a while it's something else because, like, I get tired of the songs, to be honest. But most of the time, 95% of the time, it's worship music.
Give me the name of the artist.
Carly Davis, Good Life. It's the anthem for my daughters and I. We listen to it every single morning, wherever we're going. It's super cool. Yeah.
Carly Davis, Good Life.
Carly Davis, Good Life.
Okay, so Grace, let me tell you something. When you come to DC for Fear, for our event that's happening in October, I will pick you up at the airport. Okay, I'm telling myself that I'm gonna pick you up at the airport.
Okay. Okay.
When you get in my car, you're gonna get in the passenger seat, put your seatbelt on, and shut up. Cause you know what I'm listening to?
Tupac. I know you, Sybil. It's all good. I know all those lyrics by heart too. It's all good. Before it was worship music, there was other music. So yes, I know those lyrics too.
But hey, let me tell you something though. I have a little Tupac and then I have a little Marvin Sapp for my worship music. I have Marvin Sapp and Jonathan McReynolds. So I go from a little ratchet to a little holy, right? Sometimes, depending on which playlist, the songs alternate.
Yeah, I get it. I feel that.
Hey, you never heard of Jonathan McReynolds?
No. I mean, you know what? I don't know artists by names very well, so I bet you if I heard the music, I would recognize it.
Pressure. He sings Pressure and Moving On. So, real story. I met him in the airport.
Oh, really?
I saw him. I was like, that looks like him. And I asked Helen, and she's like, no. I was like, excuse me. Are you Jonathan? He was like, yes. Actually, he said, yes, ma'am. I was like, dude. Yes, ma'am.
That's
Shoot.
funny.
I'm like, I'm not that much older than you.
He was just being polite.
He was really nice. We took a picture.
Nice. Awesome.
All right. So let's we still got to get to the main topic here. We have a long intro. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor, USAA.
Awesome. All right, everybody, go ahead and scan that QR code so you can go to USAA's Military Spouse Resource Hub, get all the information that you can possibly get about military life on there, as pertains to being a spouse, and look up all the cool things and benefits that they have as well for military families. So make sure to scan that code. Thank you, USAA, for sponsoring MSC. Make sure to give them a thumbs up and a like as well, so you can say thank you for sponsoring us and keeping the show alive. All right, so my There Ain't No Way for today is actually about laundry rooms, so let's hope that Sybil has one. When you pull out your laundry vent, dust and lint and everything gets everywhere, and you should always be cleaning it after every single load. But when it gets everywhere, instead of like wiping it or brushing it off, get you a Swiffer duster, and just wipe it on top, and it all goes away, and you don't have to worry about it getting anywhere else, and it keeps it clean and tidy. And there's actually a video to show you how. Okay, my There Ain't No Way for today is when you are pulling out all your lint from your dryer. You're gonna take it all out, and when you're doing this, it tends to cause like a lot of fuzzies and stuff going onto your dryer. So you're gonna close that up. Don't mind the sand, that's El Paso for you. I have to clean it all the time. But when you're left with all this extra lint, you're gonna grab a Swiffer duster, and you're just gonna rub it across the surface, and it picks up all that lint for you without leaving anything behind, and it's right there on your duster. That's my There Ain't No Way for today.
All right, Grace. You know, look, we changed it up a little bit this week. Hey, look, girl, we getting good.
Yes.
We have a whole production going on.
There you go.
We moving up in the world, right?
Right.
But our main topic, I want to talk about HOAs.
Okay.
Homeowners Association.
Yes, let's talk about it.
How do you feel? Yay? Nay?
I wouldn't jump into one. Like if I had two houses and I like them both the same, and one was an HOA and one wasn't, I'd probably go with the one that wasn't. Just because I like to do what I like to do in my house, you know. So usually it's like, but they do have a lot of benefits to them as well. So I think it depends on the price too. What are the fees?
I'm gonna tell you, I like a good HOA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
I'm like, all right. I need all my neighbors.
I knew that's what it was going to be about. I knew it.
Keep crap out of your yard. Don't have any abandoned car. Like, I get it, right? You might have a car that's, you know, is just parked for a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months, but I really don't want to see all your junk.
Right.
And it's not, and then also your yard. Like, I like an HOA because your lawn has to be maintained.
I get that. But you want to pay someone else to make sure other people are doing that? Like, I don't know. And I don't know. Like, that's tough for me. I'm not sure.
So I'm trying to think. So I know, so the house that we own, we have an HOA. Mm-hmm. And the house that we're renting when we move, there's an HOA. So yeah, I do. I do. I do enjoy paying someone else to ensure that everything is good. Now, don't be overbearing, right?
Yeah, I think that's where it gets a little difficult because you don't know how this HOA is going to operate. It really depends on who's in charge there, what their attitude is like. Are they on the high horse or are they doing their job, type thing. So yeah, and I think that gamble to me, like personally, isn't worth it. But I can see where the benefits come from in having that, because I get it. Like you don't want to be across or next to someone who's has a bunch of junk in their yard and like that causes pests, that's dangerous. It's not appealing, you know what I mean? So I can see the benefits and like I can see where it could be worth it. It's a bit of a gamble for me. I hear a lot of stories about HOAs and like how strict they can be and just over the top and overbearing. And so for me, I'm like, rather not even dabble in it.
Now, I will read all the rules first because I have seen some homes, their HOA guidelines. I'm like, okay, these are a little unrealistic.
Right.
But like in our old house, sometimes the bushes would get a little out of hand. No one ever, I didn't complain about it to my neighbors.
Right.
No one, the HOA never came around and said anything because I'm like this. Hey, I get it. You are not going to always be out there ready to trim your bushes or mow the grass. Like if it rains a lot, right? There's going to be certain situations. I'm not going to bother you about it. Right. But if you just out here being, but I'm also going to look at the neighborhoods before I move.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big indicator too.
Yeah, I'm a drive through in the morning, in the afternoon, and then
yeah.
Except this time we didn't because we did everything.
Yeah.
But I did. I was like, let me see in the
neighborhood. Yeah. My mom, she lived in Clovis, California. It's like right outside of Fresno. Small little city, and their houses were like super whimsical. It was like 3-story houses. I swear it looks like Dr. Seuss. It was a cute house. But she was in an HOA, and they had like the community pool area. They did like tours. She lived like a couple hours from San Francisco, so they would take tour bus and like take their neighborhood. If you're part of the HOA, you could buy a ticket or get a free ticket, something like that. And they take you up to San Francisco for the day and do all this stuff. So I thought that was really cool. Like it gives families other things to do. It gives them a spot and stuff. So I think it just depends on what they offer.
Yeah. The community pools and the clubhouse. Like I do enjoy. Now I did say I'm going to go and take advantage this time. I'm going to go to the pool and just sit and work at the pool. No, my butt is not trying to get a tan. So I'm not there Sunday. Okay. I'm going to show up with long sleeves, long pants. I'm just joking about that, but I'm not there to get a tan.
Right.
But I'll go just relax by the pool. Actually, I did tell my husband I was going to show up at the pool maybe the first week to just meet people.
Yeah. That's a good way to meet people.
And then the clubhouse, because you can rent out the clubhouse.
Right.
So yeah, those amenities like that are really nice.
Yeah. I will say this, like people who live on base, or at least for the Marine Corps, for example, like in Pendleton, the military housing is not obviously like ran by the military. It's privatized housing. And they basically run an HOA. No, you don't pay an additional fee, but they have guidelines on your lawn and what you can have on your porch and, what's outside and all those things. So I think everybody's kind of if you've lived on base before, you've been through the whole HOA process, but you're just not paying outright for it.
And see, that's interesting that you mentioned about the military bases because that was going to tie into our the real military spouse tea, but we'll go ahead and touch on it because I see people get upset because they received a notice about having too much I don't want to say junk, but
too much clutter. There was too much clutter.
Yeah, on their porch or out in their yard. Okay. So I'm like, take it and put it in the back of your house.
Yeah.
But then I'll also see people complain about getting the notice, but then complain about pickers driving by and taking the items out of their yard or their porch.
Right.
You should not go on people's porches, right? Like
Right.
that is stealing. But if you have a bunch of stuff just out in your front yard,
Yeah.
it's close to the curb and in military housing.
Yep.
People are always putting things on the curb. So if it's in the yard, again, I'm not saying you should step in someone's yard, but if you have a bunch of, I'm going to say, Grace, you have littles. I don't know how you are with your littles, but a bunch of toys in the front yard scattered everywhere.
Right.
I mean, for all I know, you're trying to get rid of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you have them in a space, if you're not taking care of your items and they're not put away correctly, I guess, and they're just out there, someone's going to pick them up, whether it's someone walking by or the gardener who's doing the lawn or, the landscape company, whoever it is, someone might pick it up. And I'm on that a little bit of like irritated by notices from base housing and then also understanding. I understand if there's too much, there's stuff left out all the time, landscapers can't do their job, like yes, give them a notice. But I will say I had a stroller outside on my porch. And I had two babies. It was just a stroller. I can't put it in my back patio because I didn't have a yard. I just had like a little patio area. There's no cover. It's just, and so the porch is where I come through my front door when we go for walks and I sit it there and it's on the thing. And I got a notice from the military HOA, we'll call it that. And they told me that I had to remove the stroller from my porch because it is public property, that my porch is public property, that anything from the front door on downward, including my lawn, is public property. And so I cannot have any personal belongings on there. And I was like, this is my house. This is my porch. This is my front yard. Like I don't get it. And so I never moved it. And I got a second notice. And they were like, you still have items on a public area. And I was like, how is my porch a public area? Are you telling me that anybody in the neighborhood can just come and sit on my porch and it's fine because it's public? And so it was just this huge thing. I never moved my stroller because I was being defiant. And it just didn't make sense to me. How is that public property?
How is the porch public property?
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how that's public property. But they said anything that's not the actual home, inside the home, forward is public property, including the front area of my grass, everything. And I was just like,
okay. Hold on. We're going to go to this next segment. We're going to come back because we need to unpack this.
Yes.
All right, folks. So today for Stroke Talks, we are going to talk about a rare cause of stroke. And no, it is not carotid webbing. That was what happened with me. This is dissection. Okay, what is dissection? It happens when there's a tear in the wall of an artery, usually in the neck or your head. And when that tear forms, blood spills into layers of the artery wall, and it creates a blockage or even causing a blood clot that travels to your brain. How does this happen? How does a dissection happen? Okay, y'all. I'm going to tell you, after I had my stroke and I attended my, one of my, maybe it was the first or second support group, I met a lady who had a stroke young. She was in her 40s like me, and she had a stroke due to dissection. She just said nothing unusual had happened that day other than just a neck movement. So it can happen with a sudden neck movement, trauma to the neck, or even chiropractic adjustment. Crazy, right? Like that is so crazy. But I will talk more about a dissection in an upcoming episode. I'm actually going to try to bring this lady on for an episode of Stroke Talks. As I'm trying to do more interviews with people talking about stroke, bring stroke awareness. So, dissection, where it calls. All right, let's revisit what Miss Grace was talking about. And if y'all are enjoying this episode or any episode or anything we do here at Millspots Conversations, go ahead, scan that QR code and buy us a coffee.
Yes.
Support. Or you know what? You can go to our website and buy some merch. Go to millspotsconversations.com. Get yourself this tumbler. It keeps your drinks nice and cold.
It does.
It's starting to get hot. Okay? It's starting to get hot. So keep it cold. And
sprinkle some happy in your crappy.
On our website and in our Amazon store too. Y'all know we're on Amazon? Yeah, y'all. We have an Amazon store too. All right, so Grace, we got to go back to this whole.
I wish I had the notice still. I'm gonna have to go through my files and see if I have one random paper left. I remember I was just so infuriated about it, and we pay rent. It's not like we don't pay rent, and yeah, it apparently was public property.
But how is your porch?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't agree that the yard is public property either, but I'll give them that argument.
Right.
And I see people talk about because I felt this way when we lived in military housing. I was this neighbor. Don't play in my yard.
Right.
If my kids are not outside, why are your kids kicking the ball?
Yes.
Throwing the ball, whatever in my yard? Because if they break my window,
right.
Now what?
Yeah. We had those issues too with kids in our front yard. But again, public property apparently. So yeah. They would leave their trash in our yard. They'd have snacks out there and leave their wrappers and do all these things. And I'm like, first off, control your kids. But secondly, how is this public property? It drove me crazy. And so, yeah, I was mad. I was like, does that mean I'd take my porch chairs off? They never complained about my porch chairs. It was just my stroller they had an issue with. But I'm not going to roll the dirty stroller through my house. And I'm not going to fold it with 2 crying babies. So.
And it's on your porch.
Yeah. It's not like I just left it on the sidewalk or threw it in the lawn. It was parked on my porch, and yeah, I got 2 notices for it, but clearly they realized I wasn't going to move it. And I never got one again. But
okay, see, I'm just stuck on that because did you have a walkthrough? Still not saying, because I don't care if it is if it's a townhouse and
yeah,
or a duplex, right?
But
even then, there's no reason for my neighbors to be walking on my porch to their porch.
So it was a duplex. However, we have stairs in the middle, and then you split into your own house. So there's a dividing wall. You don't have to cross into the other person's at all. You go straight up the stairs, and then our house on this side, their house on that side, and we each have a full porch. I'll have to show you a picture, but there's no reason. And we lived on the corner, so there was nothing. There was no reason for you to be anywhere, 1 in the yard or 2 on the porch, because we're in our own little section. There was no reason. And I wasn't the only one. There were several people on Pendleton who complained about getting those notices. And funny enough, it was always about strollers or whatever, bigger items on it. And it wasn't about clutter. It wasn't about being dirty, nothing. It was just you have this on your porch and it doesn't belong there.
But a stroller is a common item to leave on your porch.
Right? That's what I thought.
Young kids. Now, Grace, if you had teenagers and you had a stroller, I'd be like, what's she
Right.
doing? I
Yeah.
mean, maybe you were babysitting or you had visitors or whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
a stroller
Mm-hmm.
on the porch. Now, when we lived in Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
we lived in military. Well, we lived in military housing in San Diego too, but we didn't really have much of a porch.
Right.
But in Hawaii, we had a porch, our front porch. I came home one day and there were kids sitting on my porch.
Oh no.
They had their snacks. They were just hanging out, and I'm like, I remember saying, "Oh, are you looking for my girls?" I forgot which of my girls it was, and I probably just started naming all of my kids, right? Because
Yeah.
I didn't know the kids. I didn't recognize the kids. So I'm like, maybe, and they're like, "Oh no, we just took a break from playing."
That's crazy.
To get up.
This is our porch. See, like, how is that not my house?
That's your house.
Yeah, like the stroller was like right here on this wall, and I don't understand. Like,
Yeah, there's
my door. That's my house.
okay. They didn't say anything about the chairs.
No, that's what I'm saying. My chairs were not an issue, but my stroller was. So apparently, I can have chairs for people to just randomly sit on if they wanted to, but I can't have my stroller there. Yeah, it was a whole issue.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, that's my house. How is that not my house? Yeah.
Yeah. See, that would have ticked me off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like other people in my yard,
Mm-hmm.
and I am this person. I don't like people parking in front of my house. You're not my guest. I don't want you parking in front of my house.
You would not like Pendleton. There is not enough spots to the amount of people on base. And so you have to fight for parking. Like, if you're not home by a certain time, your parking spot is taken, and it's most likely in front of someone else's house. Like my house, behind us, there was like 3 parking spots. We had 1 car in the garage, but we have the truck that doesn't fit in the garage. And we lived in the duplex, but behind us is a quad. And so there's 4 here, and us 2 in front. That's 10 houses.
Oh, yeah.
That's 20 cars with 3 parking spots. And so everybody would park in front of the house, and sometimes my husband was like down the block, and I'm like, this is a problem.
No, I hate it. Now in San Diego, we couldn't use our garage because we turned it into a gym because there was nowhere to put the gym, and somebody needed their gym. So we parked two of our cars in the driveway. It was long enough for both cars, and then the third car we parked right in front of our house. And our neighbors, so actually the neighbors told us this when we moved in. They're like, "Hey, this is the arrangement we have." It was great. And everyone respected it. And we were like in the curve. So, and my daughter, she parked on the side of the street. So I used to be like, okay, look, you got to pull up enough to where I don't clip you coming out the driveway.
Right.
And the neighbor doesn't clip you coming out. So, but then you also need to cut your wheel enough to where your butt is out the road. It took a little bit of time to got it. But our house in Hawaii, because then we lived in military housing in Hawaii. Now take a deep breath. 2-car garage plus plenty of driveway space. So if you had company, your guests had space to park.
Right.
Now, unless you had a party, right? It was myself, not my immediate neighbor, but one house down. We were the 2 people on the street who hated when people parked in front of our house. And I was the neighborhood president. I was always like, you can't park. Because it wasn't even that there was a party. It was like you just had people who had guests
Right.
who would purposely park in front of the house. And for me, it wasn't so much of you parking in front of my house. It was you parking too close to my driveway.
Yeah.
So now when I'm coming out of my driveway, I'm having to
Maneuver.
maneuver. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And so the house we bought in Virginia, the one that we own, our side of the street, there's no parking. It's a no parking zone.
Oh, nice.
And I
So you don't
love
have to worry about that. That's awesome.
the house we're renting. I do think is street park. There's
street parking.
I think you can park on our side of the street, but there is no house across the street from us.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, all right, let's see.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I'm not going to be that neighbor. I'm going to go in nice. Because I'm a peaceful neighbor. I'm just like, hey, I'm the neighbor who's going to talk to you, though. I'm like, good morning. How are you? I'm that neighbor. So HOAs, I'm for them. I'm for
HOAs, I'm iffy.
I'm for a good HOA. As long as you're not overbearing.
Right.
At our last HOA, they were cool. And the rules for this one seem pretty cool. It's just those first couple of months with the mowing. Because Mr. Jones isn't going to be there with me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. I'm already looking for a landscaper.
I was going to say, I know you're already looking for a landscaper. I'll be checked off. That's good.
Yeah. Well, actually, we'll probably just, because we have to maintain the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a landscaping company who knows the house we own. Because we wanted, because we are those people. We wanted the lawn to be maintained a certain way. The bush, because again, with the HOA, right? The bush has been trimmed, the flower bed. So Mr. Jones has already said he's just going to hire them to
That's good.
do this house too.
Nice.
I'm like, good, because that yard looks a little long. But I have 3 lawnmowers. I got to figure out what to do with them.
That's funny.
It's okay, Grace. It's okay, because you know when my household goods are going to be, my long-term storage items are going to be delivered.
When? The same day you get there.
I have them delivering the 15th.
Y'all don't ever take PCS advice from Sybil. She's not allowed to give PCS advice.
Hey, you see all my stuff is off my wall.
Mm-hmm.
That went with my unaccompanied baggage that left Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You know when I prepared for it?
Saturday morning.
Friday. I had everything ready Friday at noon.
Yeah.
Our household goods leaves on, you ready? I think that pack out is the 5th.
Wow.
And I will be ready for them. I actually have a going away party on the 2nd. So I will be ready for them on the 3rd.
That stresses me out. I'm glad it's not my house.
Hey.
It works for some people. More power to you.
If I haven't used it, I will walk in. Actually, my middle daughter Ayla's room, I need to go in her room, and everything that is still here, except her dresses, because she did leave some of her formal dresses, they will ship, and her Christmas tree that she has in there will ship. But her clothes that's in there, trash, because she didn't take them with her. So I'm like, you don't need them. And her sister doesn't want them because she's already gone through them. In my closet, I'm going to go through, just pull items out. And my socks, you're going to be proud of me. I'm getting rid of all my holy socks.
Good. You just need to buy a whole new set when you get
And
back.
I do. I buy new socks. I swear, like every month, but I get holes in them. I don't know.
That is so funny.
All right, folks. Without no further questions, nothing else, we're gonna go. I'm gonna listen to some Tupac before I go to bed.
Get all hyped up.
Hey, why not?
True.
This is the last episode from Marie.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. All right. Good night. Peace out. Like, share, tell your friends. We'll see you in 2 weeks at noon, 3 weeks, whatever. May 14th
We'll see you May 14th.
at noon.